Most DBs think bailing is simple, just turn and run. But then the receiver breaks inside and you're a step too late. The problem isn't speed, it's not your reaction time. The problem is your shoulders turn too early, and once that happens, everything below follows. I was a zero-star recruit who walked on twice, earned a scholarship, and played in the NFL. In rookie minicamp, I had my shoulders turn vertical when I bailed. I was so close to making the play, I even have a picture of my shoulders being vertical when I'm bailing. But I couldn't break because I already had committed. Let me show you how to fix it. When it comes to bailing, the first thing you want to do is disguise it. You want to show like you're pressing and then at the snap, bail from it. But you're listening to the snap count. Now, every quarterback has different types of snap count. Some just clap, some just say a cadence. So if I'm going against a person that just likes to clap, someone like Jackson Dart, then I'm going to look inside to see when his hands rise up before the snap. Now, if the quarterback has a real snap cadence, typically it's going to be color, then a number, then set hut. So the example will be like white 80, set hut. Once I hear a color, blue, green, whatever, typically what comes after is a number, then set hut. So I'm either going to bail when I hear a color or a number, because then set hut comes right after it. That way I can hold my disguise just a little longer. Now, if it's more of a quiet snap count, then I'm going to do what this DB is doing right here. Already looking for some type of hand movement from the quarterback to give me a clue that it's time to bail. And if you don't know the snap count for the NFL team you're going against or college team you're going against, just watch the TV tape because it picks up the quarterback's audio, which you can hear his snap count. For high school, when you're in the game, show bail a little early so you can listen to what the quarterback's snap count is. When it's time to bail, you want to do exactly what this DB does right here. You want to turn and push off your bottom foot. A lot of times what happened here is that when it's time to bail and turn, this foot comes forward first and then they push off. But when you do that, you're just wasting steps and being inefficient in your footwork. So you want to turn and push off immediately. No wasted motion. Now, when you're bailing, the biggest thing for a DB is you want to have your shoulder square and your butt towards the sideline and that inside shoulder down. Let me break down why each one of these matter. First, shoulders square. When your shoulders are square or parallel to the sideline, you're delaying commitment. Think about it like this. When the DB shoulders are square or facing the field, you remain in a neutral posture. So from this neutral position, he can play any route on the route tree. Inside breaking routes, hitches, deep curls, whatever. And also you're in position to naturally play the deep ball. But now let's say this DB has his shoulder closed, meaning his inside shoulder is now turning and facing vertically. That neutral position that allows you to play any route now has closed because now your shoulders are committing in one direction, which typically vertical. At this point, if you do that, you no longer have that reactive ability. And now you're more in a recovery state because of the decisions you made earlier. If your shoulders are square, you haven't committed. You can still break on anything. You're forcing the receiver to declare first. If your shoulders turn early, everything below follows, and you just chose a direction without information. All right, quick question before we keep going. Do you know what stage DB you're actually at right now, meaning today? I built a free 30-second assessment that'll tell you exactly what stage you're at from stage 0 to stage 5 and what you need to work on to level up. Pause this video right now. Click the link in the description. It just takes 30 seconds. Find out what stage you're at, get your roadmap, then come back and finish this video. I will be here. All right, let's talk about keeping your butt to the sideline. You see how this DB is keeping his butt towards the sideline when he's in his crossover run? If he turns hip inside, he has now committed his hips where? To the deep ball. But keeping that butt towards the sideline, he can now what? Guard any route in the route tree. And this is what most people miss. This position keeps your hips coiled under your frame, ready to explode in either direction. So when the receiver breaks, you don't need an extra step. You don't need to gather first before you break. You can just plant and go. Having the butt towards the sideline keeps your stride efficient, which ties directly into your crossover run. When your hips are in the right position, your crossover run is clean and powerful like this DB. Your strides are long and controlled, meaning pretty much each stride can easily be the same length. The bigger picture about having your butt towards the sideline is that it connects everything. It bridges between staying square, which is your shoulders, crossover running, which is the speed part, and breaking on routes, which is your reaction. If this part is missing, your feet won't be right, your brakes won't be clean, your speed won't translate. Everything falls apart. So when it comes to the crossover run, most DBs just run out like this. A crossover run should have tempo and proper distance. Think about it. When you're playing regular off-man coverage and it's time to open up, you open up with proper distance and proper speed. It's the same. As a DB, you need to think the same way when it comes to the crossover run. Look at this DB. You have a cushion and you're keeping this cushion. Look at it via off-man. When you open up, you're keeping this cushion. So the same cushion you use for off-man when you open up, you're already in this position. So now you're just controlling the distance with a good tempo and spacing to protect yourself from the deep ball, but also keeping yourself in range to make a play on any route. Now, I want you to pay attention to the DB's inside shoulder. He keeps that inside shoulder down as best as possible. Your inside shoulder is the shoulder that's facing towards the quarterback or closest towards the quarterback. It should be slightly dipped. This allows your body to have a slight forward inward lean, which allows your weight to be loaded inside so that you're not upright and you're not leaning backwards. The main problem that most of you DBs have that's not allowing you to make plays, that's making you a second off from a PBU is here. Most DBs run like this, upright, shoulder level, and weight evenly distributed. So when the receiver breaks, you have to shift your weight first, then plant, then drive. And at this level that many of you want to get at, that's too slow. But the solution to making more plays is when your inside shoulder is down. Now your body is ready. You're leaning slightly forward and inward. You're loaded on your inside edge and you're in position to push off immediately. So now when the receiver breaks, it's only plant and go versus shift your weight, then plant and go. Now there's no extra steps to get this ball. Now bonus, if you say, hey, I do all these things, but I'm still having issues when I'm bailing, then it's your footwork at the top of the break. Take a look at this DB's foot. You see how he was able to break and make a play? You have to spend time doing drills that work on the top of the route. Here's an example. A small drill like this where you crossover run, plant at the top, and drive will fix these issues that you have at the top of the route. The goal of this is simply to get a DB to correct his footwork at the top of the route. Crossover, plant at the top, the next foot should gain ground. That's going to be the missing piece for you DBs who have the shoulder square, butt to the sideline, crossover run down. You want to fix this area, which would be that missing piece for many of you. Imagine this, you're in bail, receiver releases, you're disguising, snap count hits, you bail with your shoulder square, butt to the sideline, inside shoulder down. Receiver breaks inside, you don't hesitate, you don't gather, you just plant and go. Ball's in the air, you drive, PBU, or better yet, pick. That's what happens when you master bailing technique. You're not guessing, you're not late, you're reacting the moment the receiver declares. That's the DB coaches trust in bail coverage. That's the DB who gets on the field and stays on the field. Look, bailing is one of the most important techniques as a DB you can have because you're going to run it either in high school, college, or NFL. But it all comes down to three things. Shoulder square, butt to the sideline, inside shoulder down. Disguise it. Listen to the snap count. Turn and push off your bottom foot. Keep your shoulders square so you're not committed. Keep your butt to the sideline so your hips are coiled. Keep your inside shoulder down so your weight is loaded. Master this, and you're not just covering, you're dominating in bail. That's how you become the DB coaches trust with any coverage assignment. That's how you become the greatest version of yourself. If you haven't taken the DB assessment yet, link in the description. 30 seconds, free roadmap. Hit that like button, drop a comment if this helped, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's get better.